Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? As per usual, it's not Thursday. Uh, Josh Warren is out of town. He is at Eternal Weekend. So I told him I would take his stream spot because, well, one, Pioneer's sweet and I'm really been loving this format. And two, I really need to get some testing in for the Invitational in a couple of weeks. I will be there. I will be playing. And as I found out now, I have to play Pioneer instead of Standard, which I'm excited about. Hold on just one. Sorry about that, chat. But yeah. So we're playing Mono Black Devotion today. Uh, so this isn't your typical your typical Devotion deck where you're playing things like Nykthos as your payoff. Instead, our payoff is, we'll get to it in a minute, but it's Grey Merchant of Asphodel. So first and foremost, as per usual, we're going to go ahead and go over our land base. We have 4 Castle Lochwin, which is basically a swamp that's not a swamp, but it adds black to our mana pool. And then for 3 mana, we can draw a card and then lose a life equal to the number of cards in our hand. This card is insane for the grind off and is really hard to get like outbeat. Hey, what's up, Brad? How you doing? Glad you could make it. Then we have 4 Mutavault, as it's a really aggressive land. Not much punishment for playing it in our mana base, as we don't necessarily need our black early, although it is nice. But it also works really well with another one of our threats in Packrat. We have 2 Field of Ruin as just a little extra, land hate. Maybe try to take people off some colors. Potentially blow up a Field of the Dead. I faced that a couple practice leagues. And then we just have a buttload of swamps. Oh, and I forgot, I made this change last minute. It wasn't in the list I got from Aaron, which, by the way, shout out to Aaron. He's the one who's been working on this deck. This is his list. I made 1 swamp into an Orborg because it's basically free. So, let's move on to our spells, shall we? For Hand Disruption, we have... Did it change back? No, it didn't. Okay. I thought the way I set up cards changed for a second. We have 4 Thoughtseize, and that's our Hand Disruption in the main. Thoughtseize is one of the need my counter spells. Needs more counter spells. Got it. I don't think we have any of the 3 black counter target spell unless your opponent does this thing in this format. So it's going to be hard to play some counter spells in mono black, unfortunately. So yeah, we have our 4 Thoughtseizes. It's probably the best turn 1 play in this format, I would say, except for maybe like Land War Elves. It really disrupts your opponent. We have okay removal, but not great removal in this format. So I think Thoughtseize is going to be a staple in mid-range / control decks. For removal, we have 2 copies of Cast Down. There are a lot of legendaries, so it's not great, but it is probably the next best removal spell to Fatal Push. But Fatal Push can't hit everything in this format, that's why we got a 3-2 split. And then we have 5 Essential Heroes Downfalls effect, which is 2 black, 1 destroy target creature, planeswalker. But we're only playing 1 Hero's Downfall because we got a better Hero's Downfall recently in Murderous Rider, where its adventure side is Swift End, which is Hero's Downfall but lose 2 life. But you can also cast it for a 2/3 lifelinker that goes to the bottom of your library when it dies. So we have a little bit of card advantage in the deck. We have a 1 of Sign in Blood, just a little bit of extra card draw, get us above the hump when we need it. But we have 3 Liliana the Last Hopes, which this card has been great. I know a lot of lists are playing the Underworld connections, but Aaron and I have been really impressed with Liliana in a lot of matchups. She's extra removal, she gets back our powerful threats that we want, and her ultimate is really terrifying and will end the game quick. As for actual threats in our deck, we have 4 Gifted Aetherborn, probably one of the best cards in our deck against aggro decks. A 2 mana, 2/3 Death Touch Lifelinker is terrifying, and is really hard for them to get through because this is a shock format for the most part. We have what is probably the best threat in the deck in 4 Pack Rat, and what I think is arguably the best 2-drop threat in this format. It gets out of hand. It basically wins the game on its own. Pack Rat really defines standard in a deck similar to this, and I imagine it's going to do the same in Pioneer. We have 2 Lifebane zombies, which may seem weird in the main. But the reason that they're there is they're essentially just extra hand disruption. They give us information, and sometimes you might be able to tag like a Hydroid Krasis or potentially like a Felidar Guardian. We have a one of Kalidas Trader of Get. This is kind of like the main flex spot in the deck. Is you can either Aaron and I have been bouncing between Kalidas Trader of Get or Obnixilis Reignited in the main. We think Kalidas is better as we're expecting a little bit more aggro decks, and we also think that the Graveyard Hate portion might be a little bit relevant. And then we have the main reason to play Mono Black Devotion. The reason that this deck is even called Devotion, which is 4 Grey Merchant of Asphodels. So it's a 5-mana 2/4 that when it enters the battlefield, it drains your opponent equal to your Devotion of Black, which your Devotion of Black is the number of black mana symbols you have on the battlefield. So this card can easily swing a game on its own and easily win the game when you play the second one. So Gary is a very powerful tool. He can help you come back in aggro matchups. It's pretty hard for them to win once you put a 2/4 into play that gains you, say, probably on average 4 to 6 life. But then the real star of the show, and probably the card that's been the most impressive watching Aaron practice this deck, is Rankle, Master of Pranks. So he kind of does everything this deck wants. He disrupts your opponent by making them discard. He gets you deeper into your deck. And he makes your opponent sacrifice creatures. So while it is a double-edged sword on a lot of these, there's a lot of ways to use Rankle to your benefit. And he's even just like a really effective reach spell, as he's basically a Boros Charm when he comes down. So that's the main. But as for the sideboard, let's get on into that now, shall we? We have 4 Duress as some extra hand disruption. Really effective at getting those control decks or any of those like super heavy planeswalker decks. A couple collective brutalities for the aggro matchups. Being able to use all 3 modes is super powerful. Then we have some extra removal spells in 2 Cry of the Carnarium. This is for the go wide or the graveyard decks. Gets rid of Arclight Phoenixes very well. Also stops Rally the Ancestors in their tracks unless they can cast it at that current moment. So I really like Cry. I think it's probably the best of its effects. We have a Bantu's Last Reckoning just as a board wipe. It's the best that we really have in these colors when we're not gonna be a hyper aggressive deck. Yes, it does still destroy all of our creatures, but it's the cheapest we can find. And then, as I mentioned, we have the Obnixilis Reignited. He's an extra removal spell. He's some little extra card draw. He does threaten to win the game with his ultimate. This guy was a house in Standard. I'm sure he's still going to be a house here. Then we have some hate cards. We have a Pithing Needle for naming troublesome permanents, like Planeswalkers, stops the Saheeli combo. Card's just really good. Stops Emery, notably. And then we have 4 Leyline of the Void as Graveyard Hate. So that's our deck, but as per usual, before we get into our league, we want to hop over to momsbasementstreams.tcgplayerpro.com and tell you guys to buy your singles from there. If you're looking from anything from snow-covered lands to bone crusher giants, momsbasementgames.tcgplayerpro.com has you covered. If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, thank you. Check down in that description box below for all the links I'm going to be talking about, but also try to tune in live to our Twitch sometimes to interact and have a great time with us. On top of that, if you're looking to find us on social media, you can find us on Facebook at Mom's Basement Games, or you can find us on, or you can follow us on Twitter at Mom's Basement MTG. On top of that, if you're looking for more, sorry about that. If you're looking for more content from us, you can go over to our YouTube page to watch the best standard, modern, legacy, vintage, commander, pauper, and now pioneer content. On top of that, I would super appreciate it if you gave me a follow on Twitter. My Twitter is at RichardTMTG. I talk magic, memes, league, music, anything else you want to talk about, hit me up. I am always willing to talk. If you're looking for any other forms of social media to find us on, you can find us on Instagram at Mom's Basement Games, or you can find me on Instagram at RichieT2196. And with that note, I think we're going to hop on into our league with Mono Black Devotion. I'm really excited to stream this deck. It's looked really good watching Aaron practice it. So, how's everybody's weekend going? Mine's going not, or I guess, how's everybody's Friday going? It's not quite the weekend yet. My Friday's going not too bad. Not sure. I might hang out with friends or I might go to F&M. I'm undecided yet after I get done streaming this league for you guys. What about you guys? What are your plans for Friday? Waiting for the old Houston to pop. Ooh, you're going bowling? Heck yeah. I haven't been bowling in forever. I'm always really bad because it's a really long gap in between bowling for me. No F&M. That is pretty sad, though. Alright, we won ourselves the die roll. Hit our opponent with the GLHF. I know, it is truly the darkest timeline when you can't go to F&M. Ooh, this hand's great. I'm patiently waiting on a text from my friend Brian Carey, as he should hopefully have gotten our My Chemical Romance tickets. They announced that they're doing a reunion tour, and My Chem is easily my favorite band of all time. And one of the things I kind of kick myself for is not really having been into that genre of music enough at the time when they were like actually touring. So when they announced a reunion tour, or not a reunion tour, but a reunion concert. There's only been one announced so far. I jumped on it as soon as I could. I told Brian to text everyone. Did he not text you? It's probably not too late. You can probably try to get yourself a ticket, to be honest. Merfolk Trickster. Well, that's fine. Oh. Oh. Tickets go on sale today, and it's December 20th. It is pretty expensive, though. So cool interaction that me and my opponent both didn't realize is if you Merfolk Trickster a pack rat, the pack rat just dies. That's actually crazy. That was a super good play by my opponent. So we're going to go ahead and Fatal Push and cast Gifted Aetherborn and pass. But yeah, it's on December 20th, which is a Friday. It's in California, by the way. I should probably specify that. It's in California, and it is pretty expensive. think we just kind of want to get our devotion up. So we're just going to go ahead and cast a Murderous Rider. I think we're going to go ahead and Gary our opponent for 6 next turn. Mausoleum Wanderer resolves. Curious that does not work the way that he thinks it's going to. Curious Obsession says you sack it unless you attack. Told my opponent it's cool. I did that in Standard back in the day. Well, let's start by going ahead and moving to combat. Getting our opponent for 4. And then we kind of have the option of just casting this rider here. And trying to set up for an even bigger Gary. I think I like that. I don't know where you're going, but do you got room for one more troubled soul? I think the mono blue deck is a very sweet deck in this format. It's like a hybrid of Devotion and the tempo deck that was in Standard for a while. Opponent's thinking on the scry, ends up putting the card on the bottom. What you got, opponent? Harbinger. That makes me sad. Delaying a little bit more time on me playing this Gary. Just kind of want to try to get max out of it. Go on and attack our opponent for 4. Our Field of Ruins are looking great in this matchup. We actually are pretty close to killing our opponent with this Gray Merchant. We're like 2 off. Let's see what Thassa does here. Puts the card on top. Ooh, Master's pretty good. Go ahead and take this. Ooh, hello, Packrat, my old friend. So I think we play it. I think we just sit back because, again, I think our plan is to just try to Gray Merchant our opponent out. They scry to the bottom. Oh, man. We might lose this, actually. Don't master the waves. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to block. I'm going to see if we can draw anything to get out of this. I'm actually going to discard this Gray Merchant. Because if we draw another Gary, this is lethal. That unfortunately is not lethal. Yeah. Unfortunate. We were really close to winning that. Back-to-back Master of the Waves is very good. This is definitely a matchup where we're going to want our sweepers. Leyline of the Void does not look so good. Obnix seems pretty medium in my opinion. They are a dive down deck. Bontus and Cry seem really good. Lifebane Zombie doesn't hit. I'm still not sure how I feel about this card in the main. Last Hope seems great. Duress doesn't seem great, neither does Pithing Needle. Then we got 3 more. I really don't like sorcery speed removal in this matchup. Then I kind of want to trim a Pack Rat. Just because of the Merfolk Trickster. I guess on the play it's probably better because we can just make a token. Well, no wait, we can't. That's right. Yeah, so I think we're going to trim a Pack Rat also. What does everyone think about this? We're against Mono Blue Devotion for anyone that just hopped in. We're down a game, unfortunately. This matchup seems very interesting. We were pretty close to pulling it through. Our creatures are generally bigger than theirs, but they have some cute interactions, and they were able to just kind of Master of Waves us out before we can Gray Merchant them out. We were like 1 devotion away from being able to win with Gray Merchant. Think we're gonna go ahead and just submit? I would like to be on the play. And unfortunately we cannot keep a double Muda Vault hand. Although that's kind of unfortunate because this hand's very good otherwise. Alright, this hand's fine too. We're going to go ahead and keep, and I think we're going to bottom the Hero's Downfall. Or the Rankle. What do you guys think is the bottom? Is it Rankle or Hero's Downfall? I can see merit to both. Rankle stacking is pretty nice, but we have to have enough creatures for that. That's great. That's great, Siggy. That sounds like living the life. I think... Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and put Downfall on the bottom, I agree. Although I think it's pretty close. We are, however, going to start by Thought Seizing our opponent. Yeah, he ups my devotion, but I don't... Wait, does this take... Okay, so that's just in their main, and they didn't have enough cards for the matchup. Got it. I don't really want to go after the 1-drops. So I think it's either Tempest de Jin or Master of Waves. And I think it's going to be Tempest de Jin. Well, maybe we do just take the Cloudfin Raptor. Because it gets to start growing. No, I think we're going to go ahead and take the Tempest de Jin, though. That was an interesting Thoughtseize, I think. Island, Cloudfin Raptor. And we're gonna pack rat. Hopefully we'll draw a land on the next turn. If not, we can play a pack rat at least. Opponent's probably trying to... Ooh. That was a really good draw for them. Always yield. Yike. Well, we're gonna go ahead and sign and blood ourselves here. Alright, we hit the land, but we unfortunately had to basically time walk ourselves to get it. That's the other thing about mono blue is that, like, it's probably the deck that will punish you for, like, having a clunky draw the most. Yikes. Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's mono blue devotion. That's awesome that both of your decks are foil. Yeah, the devotion deck in this format's basically like devotion and tempo put into one deck. What are lands? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. So I'm not gonna Murderous Rider here, as I'm hoping my opponent will cast the Tidebinder Mage. But unfortunately they hit a land drop, so it's not gonna matter. Yeah, we just gotta go for it, unfortunately. We basically gave them an extra draw here, but we know they drew the land actually. Oh, sure, I'm dumb. I guess it gets some pressure off us at least. Just don't pick the wrong deck on accident. We're gonna go ahead and take 4 here. This it's very similar to like when Curious Obsession was in Standard. If your opponent ever lands it against you and gets to start using it, they're probably winning the game. So there's merit to just like sitting back here, but I think I'd rather just get a hit in with this Rankle. Start making our opponent sack creatures. I think we're also going to go with each player discards a card. Discard this Rankle, sack the pack rat. And say go. The reason why I attacked there is the sack guarantees to get rid of one of his creatures, to where if he has Trickster, like, I think we're in a pretty bad spot. I think we're in a bad spot no matter what, but we're trying our best. They're 2 3s. I think our line is Cry because they have Spell Pierce. And now it's hope they don't have a creature. Oh, they have 4 lands and we know they have Master. Yep, GG's. Rough first match of the league. I think that's a winnable matchup. We kind of break down lands in that game too there. And the game one, if instead of a pack rat, we had drawn any of the double black cards in our deck, I think Gary would have killed them. That's really cool. That's actually like really awesome of you, Siggy. I normally try to have like extra decks on me too, in case people need to borrow or just want to play something different. This hand's a pretty easy mulligan, just not much going on. This hand's a lot better. We can go ahead and ship a swamp to the bottom. Fabled Passage go from our opponent. We're gonna land go here. The goose. Turn 2 goose, a lot less scarier than turn 1 goose. I think we're just going to take this time to get Pack Rat out. I'm not super worried about what our opponent's goose can be doing here. Fatal Push? Sure. I would say this is probably Sultai. Yep. Well, we have the answer to Oko. Go ahead, opponent. Oko was ended swiftly. Is this another Oko? Jeez. Double Oko is kind of a problem. Halloween was good. I end up streaming on Halloween actually. So I just kind of like streamed, hung out. It was a good time though. After the stream, I just kind of came home, hung out, played some games with some friends. Wasn't bad. Not very Halloweeny, but enjoyable nonetheless. Man, Oko is one hell of a magic card. That is all. More news at 11. Yep. Let's start with a Thoughtseize. Well, we'll take the Jace since they're pretty far off from the dig. Then we'll cast down that. Play our land for turn. Is it even worth going at Oko? Yeah, I guess it like stops him from ultimating Oko. Or makes him sack Oko to ultimate. Opponent makes a food. Time to draw some cards. Okay. It's not the worst card in the control, that's for sure. I would think you would want all heroic creatures in Feather, but the lists I've been seeing are playing Swift Spear and shit, so I'm not sure. Well, that's upsetting. So Brian was literally Brian was literally looking at his phone waiting to order us the tickets for MyChem, and he got put in the queue and they sold out before his number. Free. Well, things happen for a reason, I suppose. But yeah, you should definitely look into heroic creatures for your feather deck, Ziggy. Yeah, there was a bunch of creatures from Theros that had heroic, which is basically the ability on the red-white dude. Wow. We won the game because our opponent never had an actual blue source, which is kind of a problem in this format. Like the mana's okay, but it's not great. I think we're again. First card it shows me is Battle Cry almost. So I think we're against like the Sultai deck that won the challenge. In which case we just kind of want to have a lot of good cards in our deck. Don't think we really want these board wipes or these ley lines. Lifebane Zombie seems really good. Our downfalls and our lilies seem great. Brutality seems a little weak. Now what? Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm actually going to minimize this and pull up the MTG Goldfish link to look at the deck list. Okay. So it looks like Duress is good but not great. I actually think we're maybe supposed to just take out Gifted Aetherborn. I just don't think it does enough against the Oko deck. And I think I'd rather have Duress than... No, I'd rather have Needle. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and try it like this. Although I'm not 100% certain that this is correct. This hand's fine. It's nothing to write home about, but it's fine. The goose. Does our opponent have the nut draw of goose into Oko? We're going to go ahead and just move to Vault Pass. Turn to Jace using the food from our opponent. Do they have a land? Ooh, they don't. Oh, wait, yeah, they did. They just played another Overgrown Tomb. I think we're going to just go ahead and cast down... Oh, Jace is legendary. That's awkward. I think we're going to cast down the goose still. I think we just want to get our... yes. 1 mana Cryptic Command. I forgot. Always feels really bad when you get Veil of Summered. Veil is just like head and shoulders better than the other ones they printed of that cycle. I think we're gonna go ahead and just Lifebane Zombie here. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have another Veil of Summer. Alright, our opponent creates a food, which means they don't have it. Wow. No green or white creatures, sadly. Hmm. Hopefully. I mean, my chem hasn't done anything in, like, God, it's been years, so. I really hope that they announce that it's a tour and not just a one-time thing. Abrupt decay on our Lifebane zombie. And then they Thoughtseize us. Our hand's pretty good, so like, not sure. I think they take the Rankle. Oh wow, we have 13 viewers. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. I didn't realize so many people stopped by. If you like the content I'm creating, we have a bunch of streamers on. We try to stream 7 days a week now. And let me pull it up. We do monthly giveaways. This month it's a playset of Jace Vryn's Prodigies. So the way you can enter to win that is if you follow our Twitch, you automatically get entered into the giveaway. And then if you would like to earn extra chances at the giveaway, you can either become a subscriber to our Twitch channel or you can donate to our Patreon. So you can earn up to 3 entries by doing that. Alright, so they took the Rankle with the Thoughtseize. Did I not switch it back over? Am I dumb? I'm dumb. I'm sorry. Alright, well, I know we're playing our land. Think we're just Lifebane and then potentially Thoughtseizing. They're gonna get to flip this Jace. Yep, go ahead and loot, scoot, and boogie away. Our hand is pretty good if we can hit another land, so. Let us know how it goes, Siggy. Glad we were able to help you dive into this format a little more. Opponent's probably debating if they plus Jace or if they tick down. If they tick down on a removal spell, they have to have another one in hand. Okay, Okay, so they hit a blue source. Is this Oko? Of course it's Oko. Our opponent's just like playing all the cards that were a mistake. And it's a fairly good strategy. Especially early on in this format. Yeah. Or I guess we can guarantee kill the Jace if we fire up both. But then we have to try to deal with an Oko. Yeah, I guess that's a bridge we cross when we get to it. Yeah, they're pretty cheap. There's a lot of like heroic creatures too. Yeah, I mean, they don't really see a lot of play anymore because of rotation. Is there anything we'd want from our sideboard? Not really. I think we sideboarded fine. We're just kind of getting Oko'd here. Okay. Go ahead and silent blood myself. And we'll play a pack rat and see what he can do. He can probably become an elk if I had to take a guess. No, the food's becoming elk. Yeah, favorite hop. I remember that one from back in the day. Yeah, I think we're just buried, unfortunately. Yeah. I think we're just not coming back from this Oko at this point. Oko is loco. The problem is like we can't really hand disruption our opponent out all the time because they can just top deck. That is like one of the awkward things with mono black is a lot of your early disruption is discard. And discard is kind of awkward in these matchups. What do you guys think? Do we change how we sideboarded at all against Sultai? No, Aaron didn't have any noxious grasps in his list, and a lot of the ones I've seen online haven't had any. That might be a mistake. Maybe you should play a couple noxious in your side. This format's a lot more diverse than standard, though. Like, maybe this could be a noxious grasp. But, like, having an actual board wipe's kind of nice. I think brutality's typically better. of Oko and Pioneer so far. Oh, I've ran into. Yeah, I mean, Oko's going to be very popular, especially early, because it was the deck that won the first challenge. Yeah, I mean, we need to hit lands, but I don't think we're going to mulligan this, so. Ain't no party like a Thoughtseize party, because a Thoughtseize party happens turn 1. Well. I guess we take the Veil of Summer and then make him Thoughtseize us, and if he doesn't want to get Thoughtseize, he has to Thoughtseize our Thoughtseize. The goose off the top. I think we still Thoughtseize. Then we just take our opponent's Thoughtseize so they can't disrupt our curve this time. Go ahead, opponent. There's that water reserve we know about. I assume we're casting a Courser here. Yep. Veil of Summer on top. Well, we're just going to go ahead and Swift end this Courser. And pass it to our opponent. Fabled Hero throws the curve off and be right back. Alright, see you in a bit, Siggy. A pass from our opponent. And I think we're going to just go land Kalidas here. We know they have these 2 plus Veil. Opponent just chooses to cycle Veil of Summer. Duress is pretty solid here. Oh, our opponent just had another Veil. Lucky, lucky. We'll go to combat. Man. 3 out of at least 4 Veil of Summer, or 3 out of max 4 Veil of Summers. Ooh, that's good for us. So our opponent takes this hit. Now we have a cast Murderous Rider. I guess it wasn't quite a free window, actually. Yeah. Yeah, that might have been bad. Now we're in the old top deck battle. Opponent might have maybe lagged out. Alright, and we draw a Fatal Push. Well, I think we just want to get our threat on the table. Even though it's weird saying a 2. Fabled Passage from our opponent. We're gonna fire up the old Muda Vault and then try to get in there for 4. Opponent makes a food. Makes another food. I think we're gonna Fatal Push one of these geese just to try to stop our opponent from making so many foods. And then I'm just instantly punished. Wow. That's super sad. We'll attack our opponent for 6. I think we're gonna hold this land just to try to maybe get our opponent to discard spell us. Opponent Noxious Grasp their own goose. Alright, go ahead, opponent. We are still on the beatdown plan, so. Other opponent's got a virtual 9 life sitting on the sidelines. Yeah, I assumed we were becoming more of the aggressive deck, but maybe that Fatal Push play was still just wrong. I think the play that really mattered was when I let them just cast both of their Abrupt Decay and Drown in the lot, and I lost the Cletus. But I'm not 100% sure that there was a way for us to get out of that. Alright, so we're gonna kill Jace to them. They're gonna gain some life. Ooh, that's a good one. Is that better than... I think playing that pre-combat was pretty bad, actually. I was thinking about getting back Gary, but I think I'd rather hit my opponent for 4. And then decide what I'm doing with the Lily. Ooh, you have to leave at 5 a.m.? Yikes. Magic, I've said it multiple times before to, like, friends and stuff. Magic is, like, one of the few... Magic and work are the only things that ever get me out of bed early enough. Gain some life off some food. I think we're just gonna tick Lily up this turn, choose no target. Play our land and paths. Alright, second verse, same as the first. Minus Lily. And I think we're going to pick up Gary here. And we're going to Gary our opponent, make him crack their food. Alright, go ahead, opponent. Wow, and we pulled that one through somehow. That was a tough matchup. Liliana really pulled through for us there, it felt like. I really like the Liliana deck as opposed to... It's the 3-hour drive that gets me. GLHF opponent. Yeah, this hand's fine. Carpooling's great. Probably the same deck we faced last time, I would assume. We'll just swap paths. Ooh. Esper control. And the Thoughtseize from our opponent. They got some options here. They take the Fatal Push. Interesting. I should have definitely just played Castle there. They wouldn't have had full information then. Start by moving to combat. And we're gonna go ahead and downfall our opponent's Jace. Just want to get that guy off the battlefield before my opponent can improve their card quality. Alright. Your pick between Pack Rat and Rankle opponent. I choose Rankle. And another Jace. I'm kind of thinking about taking 3 to draw a card here. But I don't know if it does enough. I think I'd rather just play to the board. Oh, we hit. We got Teferi, Time Raveler, and another Jace in hand. Well, that was unexpected. You were just thinking what, Siggy? Drown in the lock. Our Lifebane zombie has been drowned. Alright, go inspect your Pack Rat. EOT, we can just discard this land and make another Pack Rat. Make sure we won't skip through whatever our opponent does with this Teferi. I would like to make another Pack Rat. Oh, yeah. I just didn't see that message until then. Sorry about that. Interesting. Huh. So we get to kill Teferi, 2 Jace here. This Teferi is gone, by the way. Another Jace. I think we can use our life total as a little bit of a resource here. In case we need double black. We're going to attempt to Fatal Push. Then we will attempt to attack Jace. And we will animate Mutavault with Mutavault. Go ahead, opponent. Man, Pack Rat's a hell of a Magic card. Go to combat. Attack. If you're wondering the reason I didn't just kill my opponent there is I wanted to play around Settle the Wreckage. Alright, and we win that one. No walking some kids through a demo of MTG for the LGS. Heck yeah, dude, that sounds awesome. Have a good time. Hope that goes well for you. Alrighty, so we're against Esper Control. Don't really think this is a leyline matchup. Nor a Bantu's match. I know Lifebane Zombie hit, but I really don't think we want it still. Cast down seems really bad. I like Fatal Push. We are currently 1-1, Gavin. Glad to see you here in chat. Cletus seems kind of medium. And we're in game 2 against Esper Control. Oh, these cries seem really bad. So we got 3 more cuts. No you. I'm thinking we can probably like trim a Fatal Push and then not bring in all of the duresses. What do you think, chat? Maybe we trim a Gary, actually. I think they're going to be controlling our board pretty well. So I don't think we're really going to get to fully gray them out. Yeah, let's... Actually... Decision. We trimmed down to 24 lands instead of taking the Gary out last minute. Because I don't really think Field of Ruin is going to be that good versus them. On the play, we'll probably bring the field back in. Potentially. Ooh, Sand's great. And has a decent curve. Powerful cards. Nah. How's it going, Young? JVP. That's what you really want. Alright, so here. Since we drew the Thoughtseize, I actually kind of just want to get this pack rat down. Because we can just Thoughtseize Brutality next turn if we need to. You're just jealous, Gavin. Fatal Push. Alright, we're gonna lead on Thoughtseize. Glad we let on Thoughtseize, because, I'd have missed on this Brutality, that's for sure. Really need another Thoughtseize. Why couldn't he have countered my Lily? I guess because of Fabled Passage he couldn't. You're right. I think Lily's important to get down, but I think, Yeah, but I think, like, we needed to make sure we could get the Jace off the battlefield. I don't think we want Jace to have a chance to flip. Wow, he drew Counterspell. Like, the only way that play really gets punished, in my opinion, is if he exactly draws Counterspell right there. Because the Thoughtseize should be able to bait out any Counterspell from him. Well, I mean, like, if his hand's different than when we Thoughtseize Brutality, we're gonna get to take 2 spells. Like, I'm fine discarding one of these Gray Merchants. Like, I think picking his hand apart before playing the Lily is correct. Especially when picking his hand apart also kills the Jace. Unless I'm, like, missing something, maybe. I'm probably gonna get buried by Ojitai. I actually don't think this matchup's that bad. Like, I think this matchup's fine if they don't, like, have Dragon Lord Ojitai in their hand every game. I think we, like, have a lot of tools to grind out their normal plan. Sure. Wait. Fuck. That was my fault. I, like, hit F6, or I hit F2 when the Ojitai's command went through. Luckily, it didn't end up mattering. Well, it did because I got to discard this Thoughtseize. I mean, that's possible. Like, I'm not saying that Esper's not, like, the best control deck. Like, I'm saying they have to draw their one of, like, 3 or 4 Ojitais or else, like... And not even just one because we have Thoughtseize. Like, this game was... I think we'd be a lot more ahead if they didn't have double Dragon Lord Ojitai in their hand. Which, like, I think double Dragon Lord Ojitai gets punished by a lot of other decks. I mean... You were asking me a question, so I answered the question. Like, you... I'm confused. I would say it's probably Pack Rat, yeah. It's either like Pack Rat or Rankle's actually been pretty impressive to me. I don't know why I'm doing this again. Do we need to bring the field back in? Probably. I just like don't want to miss land drops in this matchup. We also had like 5 heroes downfall effects that we never drew. Do you think we want Lifebane Zombie in this matchup just to try to hit like random Ojitais? Or do you think that's just too cute? I'm trying to think of what I would even take out to bring these in. What's a... oh. Oh, okay, yeah, I get you now. What do you think we take out? I think we want some number of gray merchants to, like, try to kill our opponent. I think we need a couple pushes to kill Jace Vryn's Prodigies, Trav. I think I would rather have some push than duress. Because you need to kill Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Might regret this, but... I think we have time to find lands. Sand plays. Oh, you know what? I think you're right. Actually, I think you're right, Trav. I think Aetherborn should be out of our deck. I just didn't think about it. Yeah, I think we should probably actually have like this push, this duress, this field, and probably this fourth Lifebane zombie over the gifted Aetherborns. That's actually a very good catch I didn't think about. Waiting for our opponent to decide if they want to keep. Yeah, that lowers our curve and gives us some more impactful cards, actually. Thank you for that. We'll have to see if it ends up coming up or not. Oh, uh, I don't really know if red gives you better things than black is the problem. But maybe. I hope so. I love me some Jeskai Dragons. I think red just has awkward, like, Jeskai has awkward spot removal in this format. But boy howdy, if Jeskai Dragons is playable, I'm in. I think I'm going to pack right here. I really don't want to have to discard a card. We have our land for next turn, so. Bonus shocks. And thought seizes us. Sure. Do they take an impactful card or do they take a sign in blood? Try to keep us from digging a little deeper. What do you think, Gavin? Do you agree that I probably should have ported out Gifted Aetherborn? I know you played a lot of the Dragons deck back when it was in Standard. Alright, kind of punished for playing our land before. Lily Sticks. The reason why I down-ticked Lily there is in case of Hero's Downfall or Murderous Rider. Get in there, Rankle. Each player discards a card. Chat. Have I played a land? Because I don't actually remember. Do you guys remember if I played a land this turn yet or not? Oh, does it say what turn it is? Alright, well, we'll keep this push then. And take up Lily, no target, and pass. That's fair. I'm trying to see where it says turn 5. Is this just an Ojutai from our opponent? Yep. What do you guys think we do here? We can play one of our 5-drops, or we can play a pack rat and make a rat. I'm kind of leaning towards Obnix Plus. But then we can't use Obnix to minus on the Dragon Lord if he attacks it. Then we get to keep Lily around, though. If we play Ob and he attacks Ob for 5, how do we... Yeah. Like, I just don't know how we kill the Dragon Lord after that. I think I'm going to plus Lily and Pack Rat with the plans to discard this Fatal Push. I'm not set that this is the correct play, but it's the best play that's coming to my mind. Oh, no! The play was plus... Oh, wait, we can't plus... Never mind. I'm dumb again. I was thinking we could plus on Dragon Lord attack, and then he has to block or sack, but that doesn't work because... Yeah, we would have drawn a way more impactful card this turn. And I didn't discard the Fatal Push like an idiot. Okay, well. I think we minus the Lily here. Play another pack rat. We should have had an extra rat in play, but I got F2 happy. This is a dig through time from the looks of it. Yep. Teferi. Crux of Fate, maybe? Alright, well, I kind of played this game like crap, but we might actually get rewarded for it. He just doesn't attack with the Ojitai. Interesting. Dig leaving the land. you know. I'm curious if you're in chat, opponent. You should at least give us a follow. I'd super appreciate it. And make sure to also subscribe or donate to our Patreon if you want extra entries into our giveaway of a playset of Jace Vryn's Prodigies. Weird. That means our opponent has to have drawn like a counter spell. I suppose that's fair. I have left up mana every turn. Sure. I guess that's fair. He's not blocking, so we may as well attack. Is it crazy for me to pick up Pack Rat again? I just don't know how we ever beat this if we jam Ob. I guess we get to start drawing cards. That's fair. Yeah, no, you're totally right, Kruk. Thank you, thank you. I think you're right. I think I have to just not play scared this whole game. Dang, we actually kind of wanted to land there. It's like, oh. Oh, he's digging to try to find a counter spell. He's pretty likely to hit here. I was not expecting a T-Hulk out of the Dragon's deck, though. That's true. Yeah, now we're kind of in a bad spot. I was thinking if he countered Rankle, we could minus Lily and pick it back up and do the same thing next turn. And I was thinking it was setting us up better for next turn, but I think it's pretty unlikely we get to kill the Ojutai on our next turn. Now he just gets to pick it back up with Lily. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this matchup's hard. It doesn't seem like it should be that hard, but maybe I'm incorrect. Gets back Lily, minuses my Lily, picks back up Ojutai. Yep. Or even picks back up Jace here. I can see merit to both. Goes with the Jace. Nope. Yeah, I think the Rider play might have been a mistake. The gifted Aetherborn was awkwardly decent. I don't know if Lifebane Zombie and things would have been better or not. I think it's worth thinking about though. Whoa. I don't know what our opponent's doing, but it seems spicy. I think we take a hanger back and see if our opponent plays Chief, we get to take the other hanger back. Gray Merchant's great, in my opinion. Because wait, what? Oh, yeah. Gray Merchant's been really good for me. It just like can swing games, and it's insanely good against aggro decks. It just gives you like a lot of reach. Okay, so it just sticks the hanger back. I think we just want to get the Gifted Aetherborn down now. Our opponent's deck seems interesting, though. Chief of the Engineer, Great Henge. Is this the Ballista? Another Walker. Yikes. Guess we start by going to combat. Yeah, you're a grind amount mid-range deck, but like this card is just like it can be insane in the late game. Maybe it should be a 3 of, but I think it's probably a 4 of. Thoughtseize, we will take. Far off are we from having to care about this Great Henge? I just think I can't let my opponent play it. Maybe I was actually supposed to just double Thoughtseize there and take both Ballistas. I think there's merit to that line too. Yeah, I think that line was actually better. Wait, my opponent could have actually played... Wait, maybe not. Yeah, I think that was probably correct. That would have been correct. Now do you sack a ballista to kill the lily? Yep. I think as bad as it feels end of turn, it takes so much. I think we just need to try to find some stuff to do. Yeah. Yikes. This is definitely a matchup where sweepers are going to be helpful. Yeah. I think we have to find action. Say go. We can downfall the Chief of Foundry. Oh, sure. I was like, what is he doing? Curious why he chose blue instead of, playing like black or just mono green. I should have definitely gone to blocks first. Well, time to start gaining life. Yeah, we're gonna attack actually. Just trying to figure out if we could or should attack or not. Oh, is this just like a construct deck? not bad. Go ahead, opponent. Lily over Underworlds has been pretty great, I'm not gonna lie. Just attacking me with the flyer. Go, Gary. I don't think we attack. I think we just say go. Pumping up the blast zone. And the walker. Alright, well this third gray merchant should get the job done then. And this is the reason why like a lot of the lists are playing 4. It can just swing the game so much. Just in case our opponent can potentially have something. And Gary. Alrighty. Man, this has been a long league. Grindy decks are grindy. So what do we want here? Kalidas and Leylines actually seem alright to stop Hangerback. I don't know that we necessarily want all of them or not. Lifebane doesn't seem great. Don't really think we want to be sign-in blooding ourselves. Brutality seems kind of medium. Duress doesn't really seem like where we want to be. Needle seems very good. Hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out, is if Leyline is better or worse than other things. I think this probably isn't an Obnix matchup, actually. Yeah, Pack Rat doesn't seem great, but I don't know that we want to take out all of them, because they are one of our better threats. I can definitely see trimming a Pack Rat. And then we do have Kalidas and Cry and Bantus to clean up tokens. So maybe we don't need the Leyline of the Voids. Maybe we like hedge a bet. Because like this is fine to cast actually too. I guess they did show us plenty of lands we want to field though. What do you think, chat? Almost forgot I have another drink. I'm getting thirsty. Yeah. We need lands, but this hand seems fine. Springleaf Drone. Swamp Pass. And we'll get our Pack Rat down. Just say go again. Plan to make a rat end of turn. That's pretty good. I think we're going to discard one of these rainbows. I think we kill the Karn here. Opponent's thinking. Another chief. And another chief. Our opponent is making sure we know that he is the chief. I think we'll take 9 to have the devotion. Go to combat, we'll attack. Each player discards a card and sacrifices a creature. I'm going to discard this land. Yeah. Got a ballista from our opponent. And we're going to sack the Gary. Take up Blast Zone. I think we take 9 here. Go to combat, attack with Rankle. Each player sacrifices a creature. Then we will cast Pithing Needle, naming Blast Zone. And say go. That attack seemed like a mistake from our opponent. Attack combat. I would like each player to sacrifice a creature. Play Lily plus Lily. Play Gifted Aetherborn and pass. Pack Rat did some work this game, though. I think our opponent's just dead. So we go to combat. Attack him. I would choose to have each player lose a life and draw a card. Minus pick up Gray Merchant. And Gary. I don't think you can gain 5 life, opponent. Alright, and we are 2-2, hopefully playing to get our fun bucks back at least. So, Esper seemed rough, and what was our other loss? Do you remember what our other loss was to, chat? I'm drawing a blank. We beat that deck. Oh, we lost to Mono Blue, that's right. Which I think is a favorable matchup. But Mono Blue just always has draws that can like run away with the game. Alright, Naughty Boy 1990 is our last opponent for this league. Yeah. Hopefully their deck Fatal Push is good against. Something tells me Hallowed Fountain Go is not a deck Fatal Push is going to be great against. But it's probably fine. They probably have Jaces. Search for Azcanta. I can't Fatal Push a Search for Azcanta opponent. Hit song called My Way, but someone else wrote. Please talented rat in your whole pack of rodents. Just getting a Lily down. Opponent ditches the Narset. Pluses to Fairy. Ops. Probably looking for a land drop if I had to take a guess. Looks like that might just be like straight up blue-white. Like straight up now, tell me, do you really wanna love me forever? Oh, oh, oh. Or is it just a hit and run? How does chat feel? I always like to feel how chat feels about my singing on a daily basis. Seal away. Well, that's like the worst ever. Seal away came in with a built-in stone rain. We'll plus Lily and pass here. We could have just Murderous Ridered the Teferi, but I'm less worried about the Teferi as I am like other planeswalkers they might play. Let's move to combat. Attempt to attack Teferi. Sure. Plus Lily, no target, and pass. Drew Lily for turn. Is this Big Tough? Smells like, oh no, Narset. Elixir of Immortality. Oh yeah. Alright, we're gonna fire up Mutavault. Yeah, I've seen Grasp of Darkness, and I actually kind of like that option. I think Doomblade isn't great, even though it's in this format. I think Cast Down's a better Doomblade. And Lily's Triumph isn't bad if you expect Bobles. So, I think it kind of depends on what you're expecting. God, that's so brutal. Our opponent's gonna flip their search next turn. I think we just want to get this Narset off the battlefield. Reasoning why I did it there is I just don't want my opponent to get more cards. Yeah, I think there's pluses and minuses to a lot of the options of removal. Milled Teferi. That means they definitely have one. Yeah, the control decks look like they're starting to get figured out for this one. And they're looking pretty solid. all of the spot removal. Guess they are about halfway through their deck. Alright, let's animate Mutavault. Go to combat. Try to kill Teferi. He just refuses to die. Get in there, Murderous Rider. I always enjoyed Elixir of Immortality as a card. Now I just like don't care about Teferi, which is funny. Wait, what did they take? Oh, they took the Azorius Charm. Got it. It was weird. It's shown it to me as if they had taken it before. Combat attack. Attempt to Lily. I cannot pay, so. The scary thing about playing a deck like our opponents is if their opponent ever has a Teferi. I suppose it was technically correct for me to draw before the bounce happened. I'm just kind of like giving up a free life. Teferis are down. The old Sphinx Rev. Still waiting to see how the old opponent wins the game here. Oh, that's how. Alright, back to you, opponent. Anyone in chat have any questions about the deck while we're playing through this match? Blue-white, typically the way control was supposed to be played in standard. Every now and again you'd see people splash for Esper, but typically these shells turned out to be a little more consistent in my experience. I'm curious if in paper our opponent would play the Elspeth Suns champion, or if they would just be on like the Teferi Elixir win con. I'm a big fan of Elspeth Suns champions. Not gonna stop you from revving for a million, opponent. I'm sure they're just having the time of their life, too. What control player's dream isn't it to have 10 cards in their hand? not get the opponent to activate search, unfortunately. We will attempt to kill Elspeth, though. Wonder if our opponent's playing any absorbs. Absorb seems like it'd be a solid help out with the aggressive matchup a lot. Then again, some might just having so much spot removal. And like Seal Away and Azorius Charm. Dig Through Time notably does not work with Teferi Emblem. Sphinx Root does, though. Well, we're getting out of what we wanted out of our opponent here. Some extra time. Wonder if our opponent has more ways to win the game faster post board. So our opponent has about 11 minutes. So the old blue-white control skis. Leyline does not seem great. Although Leyline does stop search and elixir. Maybe Leyline is fine. Bond2 and Cry don't really seem like where we want to be. Because by the time they're Elspething us, we probably lost. Gifted Aetherborn seems bad. Cast Down doesn't seem great. We can trim a Fatal Push. I don't think we're going to have many field targets, so I like trimming a field. Plus, this game's going to go on for a while. I don't think we have any hits for Lifebane Zombie. Kalitas doesn't seem great. And then we trim a Gary. This stops Search for Azcanta, Elixir of Immortality shenanigans. Yeah, let's try this. Hand's a little awkward, but we'll keep. If one of these castles was a swamp, the hand would be perfect. Ooh. Well, I guess we won't be making our opponent discard cards. These Thoughtseizes will be rats. Yikes. Hopefully you don't have the Syncopate. Yikes. Let's start with a Pack Rat, because I don't think a lot of their removal can get rid of a Pack Rat. Vault, stick a Lily, take up on Lily, and then pass. I think we just have to hopefully get rid of this. Maybe boarding out the land was incorrect, but Leyline seemed really good in this matchup. Narset from our opponent. Don't counterspell me, please. Try to kill the Teferi. Opponent minus his Narset finds the dig. I think we're going at our opponent. Pack rat. Yeah. Oh no, 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 no. Stupid murderous rider was blocking my Liliana, so I didn't think to use it. I like noticed it just at the last second too. Go ahead and pass it to our opponent. Yep. Man, if only I didn't miss that plus with Lily. Cast Murderous Rider, go to combat. to fatal push a token. Yeah, I mean, this Leyline of Sanctity kind of just wrecked us. Oh, sure. Yeah, making the correct another rat was the correct play. No, float 2 black. Thought I did. That's right. Man, fuck Narset. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty hard for the mono black deck to beat a Leyline of Sanctity. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have worked out, but you are correct that it was the correct play. Yeah, this matchup does not feel good. Yep. I don't know. Weird. Not not sure I'd really change anything about this deck. I'm like not sold on the Lifebane zombies in the main, but I'm not really sure what they should be. Like, this deck feels fine. I don't know, though. I feel like the blue-white deck should be... Like, I feel like we should probably be able to beat Control. But maybe that's, like, this deck's bad matchup. Well, as per usual, before we hop off, I'm going to make sure to shout out our sponsor one more time. momsbasementgames.tcgplayerpro.com, and tell you guys to check them out for any singles you need. Anything from Snowlands to Bone Crushers Giants, momsbasementgames.tcgplayerpro.com has you covered. On top of that, if you're watching live on YouTube, check down in that description box below for all the links that I'm going to be talking about. But try to tune in live to our Twitch sometimes. It's a really good time and you get to interact with us. Everybody watching live on Twitch right now and on YouTube in the future, thank you. Make sure to check out our Facebook page, Mom's Basement Games, and give us a like. Also, try to follow us on Twitter at Mom's Basement Games. And if you're looking for more content like this, make sure to check back over to our YouTube channel for the best standard, modern, legacy, vintage, commander, pauper, and now pioneer content. On top of that, I would super appreciate it if you gave me a follow on Twitter. My Twitter's at RichardTMTG. I talk magic, memes, music, League of Legends, anything else you want to hit me up about, feel free. I'm always willing to talk. If you're looking to find us on any other forms of social media, you can find us at Mom's Basement Games on Instagram, or you can find me on Instagram at RichieT2196. But with that, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go return these cards, and I don't know. Might go to F&M. Might go hang. I think I'm gonna go hang out with some friends though. So hope you all have a wonderful weekend.